The movie begins with three scientists, Jane Foster, Eric Selvig, and Darcy Lewis, in a four-wheel drive van in the New Mexico desert, observing an aurora borealis-like phenomenon. Suddenly, a massive lightning storm appears, and they drive towards it. The van collides with a man within the storm, prompting them to stop and check on him. They find the man, who is naked, and Eric covers him with his coat. The man is revealed to be Thor. The scene then shifts to a flashback narrated as a voiceover, describing a battle in 900 AD between the Asgardians and the frost giants of Jotunheim, ending with the Asgardians securing the powerful casket of ancient winters. Odin, the king of Asgard, speaks to his two sons, the energetic Thor and the more contemplative Loki, explaining that while both are worthy, only one can be king. Odin shows them the realm of Asgard, including Mjolnir and the Tesseract. Years later, Thor is on the brink of being named Crown Prince during a grand ceremony in Asgard's hall. However, before Odin can make the proclamation, intruders trigger alarms in the room containing the Jotun's power casket. A destroyer robot kills the intruders, protecting the casket. Thor is furious and wants to retaliate, but Odin advises against it, stating that no real harm has been done. Disappointed, Thor confides in his close friends, Fandral, Volstagg, Hogun, and Sif, expressing his desire to teach the Jotuns a lesson for disrupting his ceremony. Together, they decide to journey to Jotunheim to confront them. They bring Loki along as they ride out, passing through the Bifrost, which allows them to enter Jotunheim, the frost giant planet, a frozen, crumbling wasteland. They are immediately confronted by King Laufey, who mocks them. Loki tries to defuse the situation by claiming they are there by mistake and suggests leaving peacefully, but Thor refuses to back down, ready to fight despite the odds. They are surrounded by frost giants and a battle ensues. Loki uses his magic to survive and shows an unusual reaction when touched by a frost giant. King Laufey unleashes a massive beast, forcing the Asgardians to flee. Thor defeats the beast, but they are once again surrounded. Odin arrives in time to save them, apologizing for the intrusion and attempting to restore peace. However, King Laufey declares war on Asgard, attempting to stab Odin. Odin repels him and brings the group back to Asgard. Back in Asgard, Thor remains furious with Odin for not joining the fight and accuses him of cowardice. He becomes disrespectful towards his father, questioning why he didn't confront the frost giants himself. Odin allows Thor's friends to leave but confronts Thor and Loki. He is enraged that Thor's actions have escalated tensions with Jotunheim and deems him unworthy of being king. Odin strips Thor of his power, banishes him to Earth, and sends his enchanted hammer Mjolnir after him, with the enchantment that whosoever wields this hammer, if he be worthy, shall possess the power of Thor. The scene shifts back to Earth, where Thor wakes up in front of the scientist group led by Jane Foster. They quickly take him to a hospital, and the next morning, he sees that he doesn't have his weapon, Mjolnir, and in frustration, he loses control, attacking the doctors in his hospital room and escaping. Eric tries to convince Jane to leave him, calling Thor unstable, but she's both curious about and drawn to him. Returning to the hospital later, they find Thor gone. As they drive away in their van, they accidentally hit Thor again, knocking him unconscious. This time, they decide to take him with them. Jane gives Thor some civilian clothes that belong to her ex-boyfriend. Hearing locals discuss a satellite crash nearby, Thor decides to head there despite Eric's attempts to dissuade Jane from getting involved. Meanwhile, S.H.I.E.L.D. learns about Thor's hammer landing and mobilizes their team to secure the area and investigate. They also discover Jane Foster's research on the phenomenon. Their leader, Phil Coulson, visits Jane to obtain her research, offering payment, but she refuses to give it up. Coulson leaves for New Mexico, where Thor's hammer landed, a site now crowded with curious onlookers trying to lift the hammer from its crater. Government agents take control of the area after dark. Jane and Thor arrive at the crash site, which is now heavily guarded. Thor attacks the agents while Jane seeks safety. After defeating several agents, Thor reaches Mjolnir, expecting to wield it again, but he is unable to lift it. Realizing he is no longer worthy, Thor is devastated and collapses in defeat as S.H.I.E.L.D. agents close in and arrest him. Thor is taken into custody and Coulson interrogates him about his identity, why he wants the hammer, and where he came from. Thor remains silent during the interrogation, frustrating Coulson. Meanwhile, Thor's friends suspect Loki's involvement in Thor's banishment. It is revealed that Loki is not Odin's biological son. He was adopted from Jotunheim as an infant. Odin falls into a coma, leaving Loki as the acting king of Asgard. While Coulson steps out momentarily, Loki appears before Thor, claiming Odin is dead and stating that Thor cannot return to Asgard. Thor is devastated by this news. Eric arrives and convinces the S.H.I.E.L.D. agents that Thor is Jane's ex and under the influence of drugs. Coulson, aware of the fake ID but allowing it, lets Eric take Thor, who discreetly takes Jane's notebook. Thor and Eric go to a bar where Thor drinks heavily without effect while Eric passes out. Thor carries Eric to Jane's house, where they bond. They spend time together, sharing stories around a bonfire. Thor explains the 9 realms and the Bifrost Bridge to Jane, who theorizes it as a wormhole. The scene shifts to Asgard, where Loki sits beside Odin, who is revealed to be in a deep sleep but alive. Loki's mother, a magician, appears. Loki is resentful towards Thor, believing himself more worthy to be crowned prince due to his biological lineage. Loki devises a plan to seize power. He freezes Heimdall with the Casket of Ancient Winters, gaining access to Jotunheim. There he offers a deal to King Loki, seeking his help to eliminate Odin and become the king of Asgard. In a twist, we discover that Loki orchestrated the earlier infiltration of frost giants into Asgard to retrieve the Casket of Ancient Winters. Now he strikes a deal with King Loki to allow them entry again to assassinate Odin and reclaim the casket in exchange for peace. Returning to Asgard, Loki's actions are noticed by Thor's friends, who confront him about his treachery. Despite their accusations, Loki asserts his authority as king and declares his intentions. Thor's friends decide to alert Thor on Earth about Loki's plans. They inform him of everything, including Odin's survival. In response, Loki commands the Destroyer to Earth, instructing it to kill Thor. The Destroyer arrives in the New Mexico desert, wreaking havoc with its powerful heat ray. Thor, along with Jane and her team, attempts to protect civilians, but he confronts the Destroyer and offers himself in exchange for sparing the humans. The Destroyer strikes Thor down, seemingly killing him. Jane mourns over his lifeless body. However, Thor's selfless act proves him worthy once again to wield Mjolnir. The hammer returns to him, restoring him to life and full power. Thor defeats the Destroyer effortlessly and promises Jane he will return before flying back to Asgard. Meanwhile, the frost giants invade Asgard through the portal. As they pass the frozen Heimdall, King Loki attempts to kill Odin in his chamber. However, Loki betrays Loki, appearing to save Odin while secretly plotting. Heimdall, though frozen, breaks free and aids Thor's return to Asgard. Thor swiftly engages the frost giants in battle. Loki manipulates the Bifrost to destroy Jotunheim, intending to eliminate all evidence of his treachery. Thor confronts him and a fierce battle ensues. Thor uses Mjolnir to immobilize Loki and tries to destroy the Bifrost to halt Loki's plan. As the portal collapses, both brothers fall into space. Odin intervenes, holding Thor while he grips Loki's staff, ensuring their safety as the chaos subsides. After Loki's defeat and apparent demise, Asgard returns to normalcy, though Odin remains sorrowful about the events. Thor, longing for Jane, is assured by Heimdall that she is searching for him. On Earth, Jane continues her research in a new lab with advanced equipment. Odin approaches Thor, ready to name him the Crown Prince of Asgard. Thor, however, humbly tells Odin that he will let him know when he feels ready for such responsibility. In a post-credits scene, Selvig is at a S.H.I.E.L.D. facility where he meets Nick Fury. Fury shows Selvig an object in a briefcase, describing it as a potential source of unlimited power. Unseen by Selvig and Fury, Loki appears and remarks, "Well, I guess that's worth a look," a statement Selvig repeats. This sets the stage for future developments, hinting at Loki's continued influence and potential threats yet to come. Please like and subscribe for more recaps like this.